Hey, this is just going to be a quick and simple tutorial on how to set up the multiplayer horror FPS kit integration. The first thing you want to do is make sure you have a fresh copy of the horror FPS kit. I'm saying right now that this works only with version 1.6a. However, you could manually update older versions. The auto update would probably work with 1.6. But I would recommend if you're using anything less than 1.6a to do a manual upgrade. Anyways, that being said, now that I have the horror FPS kit, a fresh copy of it installed in my project, I'm now just going to install the integration package. I'm just going to say yes on the import. Once it's done importing, I'm just going to check for errors, and I'm going to go up to Prophet's Place and click the Update Scripts button. That's come through. Just going to scroll down to the end, and yep, it says finished updating scripts, so we're good to go. So now we just need to go to Prophet's Place again and go to Integration Packages and click on the Multiplayer Core. And this is giving us the rest of the stuff we need. There's a stripped down version of Photon Pun 2 and Photon Voice 2 included, so I don't recommend downloading the one from the asset store. Depending on version changes, the one in the pack will always be the correct version. And I will update to newer versions as they come out. So. Setup is pretty simple and straightforward. There's one spot that's a little tricky, and that's why I'm doing the video. It's just setting up the animation controller that's in the horror FPS kit itself. We just have to add a layer and a couple of parameters, and then throw two animations in the new layer that we create. Alright, now that that's done, we can just head on over to the horror FPS content folder and go into the animations and to animator, and then double click on player body animator, and then we're just going to click on the parameters tab and click this plus button right here to add a new parameter, and we need to add a bool, and we're going to call this bool is arms idle, and make sure you format it the same way, that it's a lowercase I for is, a capital A for arms, and a capital I for idle. We're going to do the same thing, another bool, but this is going to be is arms shoot, and that's just the same format again as the other one. Now that that's done, we're going to go on the layer and we're going to click this plus button here to add a new layer, and I'm just going to name it net body, and then we got to click this gear icon, and right here where it says mask, we're just going to click the circle and we're going to select net body arms, which is an avatar mask that I've included, and then we're just going to tick IK pass. Now that that's done, we've got to populate this controller with some animations. So we're going to head on over to the Prophet's Place folder, and we're going to go into the multiplayer content and just double click the animations folder, or click the animations folder, and we're going to drag arms item idle into the screen, and then we're going to drag pistol shoot idle into the screen. Now all we're going to do is right click on arms item idle and click make transition, and just go up and click on pistol shoot. Now with this newly created line, we're just going to click right on it, and we're going to untick this has exit time, and we're going to click the plus button here, and we're going to drop it down all the way down to where it says is arms shoot. So we want it if the player is shooting, play the pistol shoot animation. And now we want to right click on pistol shoot. Oops, don't do that. Now we want to right click on the pistol shoot and click make transition and click on arms idle, and then click on that arrow, and we're going to keep this to have an exit time. We're just going to hit this plus arrow here on the conditions, and we're going to drop down and say is arms idle. So this one says if the player's shooting, play the pistol shot. This one's saying wait until after the clip's done, and if is idle, go down and play arms item idle. So this is all set up and good to go. That's basically about it. We still have to set up the photon server, we're just going to put our real-time app ID in here and our voice app ID in here. So I'll just go ahead and I have to open up the website. And there'll be a link in the description, and there's also on the description of the asset pack itself, there's a link to where to get the app IDs at. Alright, so I'm just going to put the voice one in first because it's the first one I grabbed. So I'm just going to paste the voice app ID in the voice app ID slot, and then I'm going to paste the real-time app ID into the real-time app ID slot. And that's all set up. Now we're just going to go to the build settings, and we're going to make sure that it's got I forgot a step. We have to go to the profits place and go to the integration pack and import these tags and layers. And click import and import. And now if we go to the build settings, we will see that it has the right scenes. And then also if we go into the player settings, we can scroll down and just make sure that it says active input handling is set to both. Once all that's done, we can just close Unity and then restart it. And now that it's restarted, we're all set to go.